Welcome to the channel Learning R is Fun. In the past videos, we have covered core R features starting from atomic data types, basic data types such as vectors, lists, matrices, arrays, and data frames. We have seen the control structures in R and how to write functions. In the last video, we have seen what are the data sets and how they help us to experiment with our R knowledge. In this video, we will see how to generate our own data for testing our code. We will cover functions of R such as sequence, repeat, rnorm, runiform, and sample, etc. What is distribution? The distribution of a statistical data set is a listing or function. It shows all the possible values of the data and how often they occur. When a distribution of numerical data is organized, they are often ordered from smallest to largest, broken into reasonably sized groups, put into graphs or charts to examine the shape, center, and amount of variability in the data. The most well-known distribution is normal distribution. The data obtained in the real world are of myriad patterns. We often have only few samples of such total data known as population. If we can find the pattern of our population data, we may be able to predict based on our sample data. Here, the statisticians come to our help. The data distributions of certain common types have been studied and mastered by the statisticians. The benchmark parameters of these distributions such as distribution function, mean, standard deviation, and probability for occurrence of a particular data, etc. have been worked out by them. What anyone needs to do with their data is to check whether their data follows one such pattern already studied and available. Some of the well-known distributions are normal, binomial, Poisson, uniform, chi-square, T, F, etc. In R, we can generate data which follow these distributions as we want. These distributions have been around for decades, which cover most data available in the real world. For example, you might have noticed a traffic sign stating accident-prone area, drive carefully. A Poisson distribution answers the question, what is the probability that such and such number of accidents will occur there within a month? And an exponential distribution answers the question, what is the probability that the time until the next accident is such and such length of time? Uniform distribution is used to distribute probability equally over all possible outcomes or equal ranges of outcomes. This distribution is especially useful in virtual experiments or simulations to explore the real world phenomenon. Binomial distribution model the number of successes that can occur in a certain number of attempts when only two outcomes are possible, such as heads or tails in a coin flip, for example. Now let us go to RStudio. Let us go by the script. The first few statements are something which you have already seen, that is the colon operator. So we'll just execute them in one go. Basically, creation of integer vector in different ways. Now we are going into a new function which is similar to the colon operator but has got a versatility over it. Now sequence 2, 10 basically says I want 2, 10. So this is equivalent to what we have seen already. Here we are saying from 1 to 10 by steps of 2. So we'll get 1, 3, etc. Now within the function arguments, you can give the arguments in any order provided we give the name. So we are giving from 1, that is in the last, and 2, 10, that is in the beginning, and by 2 in the middle. There is same arguments but have been given in different order. So we will get the same result however. Now sequence 300 to 200 with minus 10 as the step. So we are getting it 300, 290, etc. And 5 to minus 5 with minus 1 as the step. So we got it. Then we are having one more example in this case with the decimals 5 to minus 5 with minus 0.3 as the step. Here we go up to minus 4.9. Next one will be minus 5.2, which is beyond minus 5, so therefore that doesn't figure. And since it starts with 5, so it starts with 5 here. But ending cannot be assured in the same number because of the step which we have given. Now there is one more argument which is length dot out. Here sequence 1 to 10, length out is 4. It produces 4 numbers from the start, that is starting from 1, and what happens we can see here, this 1 and 10, these numbers are going to be available, and we are going to get 4 and 7. Now since we want length out as 4, 3 spaces will be available which are equal. 1 plus 3 is 4, 4 plus 3 is 7, 7 plus 3 is 10. So that's how the whole thing happens. Now we'll see here 10 to 200 basically here length out is 19. So let's see what is A. We are having 19 numbers. So if you give a 19 here, you get 19 numbers. And then the first number is 10, the second number is 20.5, the third one is 31.1, like that it goes. We are able to see these are all equispaced. There is one more argument, that is along. Basically, this is only equating the length of the argument vector. That means when we are saying sequence along A, it produces the indices of the A into B. Let's see this. So let's see what is B here. Here we are having indices 1 to 19. The same 1 to 19 indices are coming into B. So that is the way the along argument works out. Now let's create a data frame. Here we'll use this 2 vectors which we have created. Serial number is B and general number is A. That means B is basically this 1 to 19 and the generated numbers are in A, they will come in the second column. So we are having the generated numbers in the second column. The first column is basically produced using along. Okay, now we'll go for another function which is replicate. So replicate 1, 5. Basically you want to repeat 1 5 times. Repeat 2.4 10 times. Repeat the sequence of 3 4 times. Sequence of 3 is 1 2 3 and that is to be done 4 times. Now repeat the vector 23 34 45 2 times. So 23 34 45 2 times. Here there is another argument, each is 2. That means each number in this vector has to be done twice. So 23 twice, 34 twice and 45 twice. So that is the way that rep operates. Now we'll see one normal distribution which is the most common distribution. It is an arrangement of data set in which most values cluster in the middle of the range and the rest taper off systematically towards either extreme. It's one form of explanation. For generation of this kind of numbers, random numbers, we set a seed. That seed, set.seed, if I say 23 and generate the numbers, and you also do the same thing, the numbers what we are going to generate will be same. If the seed is not set, the numbers generated will be different. Okay, now I am generating normal random numbers, 10 such numbers, 45 as the mean and 3 as the standard deviation. That is the function definition. R norm n, that is the number of numbers you generate, mean is 0 and standard deviation is 1. In our case, we have given mean as 45, standard deviation is 3. Let's see what happens. So B has been generated. We can have a look at B here. So all are around 45 because 45 is the mean. So you get 45 here, 43 here, then 2 less roughly, 2 more, again 5 more, there will be 5 less also, that means around 40 something should be there. No, it's not there. So overall you should get some bias in the mean. So let's see what is mean. I'm getting 47.07. I wanted 45 as the mean, but since the numbers which I have generated are not that many, I may not get an accurate answer. Standard deviation, let's see, that is 2.3. I wanted a standard deviation of 3. That when I say standard deviation of 3, what do I mean? I mean the numbers should be away from the center, that is the mean, in such a manner that the difference is roughly 3. Okay, now we will see a histogram. Histogram is basically the frequency diagram. Here the same numbers generated I am feeding into the histogram. Let's see how histogram is drawn. So around the mean the frequency should be more. So around 45 the frequency is more. That means around 45 the numbers should be more here in this set of numbers. But since these numbers generated are very small, we are not getting a perfect histogram. Let's see, we create 100,000 numbers. What happens? So see, RS produced 100,000 numbers in a flash. Let's see whether it is bluffing or it is really generated. We'll ask 1 to 100. It produces the result. There is no way a computer will bluff. Okay, mean C. Mean of C is basically this 100,000 numbers, we want what is the average. So here the mean and standard deviation we are not given. They are basically taken as 0 and 1 if you don't give. So this mean of C should be something close to 0. I am getting 0.002. Since I have generated a large numbers, the mean is closer to 0. Standard deviation should be closer to 1. I am getting 0.99, so it is almost okay. Let's see a histogram here, the frequency diagram. You see around mean, the maximum you get the frequencies. That means these 100,000 numbers, if you take frequency of those numbers in the region of 0 to say 0.2, 0 to 2, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 divisions. 4 divisions is roughly 0.5. So 0 to 0.5 and 0.5 to 1 and 1 to 1.5 and 1.5 to 2. When you see the numbers which range between 0 to 0.5 or more, similarly in the negative side also. So this is the pattern of the normal distribution, a bell curve we say. And let's see the plotting also. Plotting of 100,000 numbers naturally will take a little bit of time, and then the next distribution we will be seeing is uniform distribution. We will be contrasting this distribution and normal distribution. Let's see it in zoom. Okay, now the numbers are roughly ranging between -4 to +4, and all of them are in the band of 0 to 2 and 0 to -2. So this is the area where it is dense, and as you go away from 0 the density reduces and you get one odd number more than 4 and one odd number less than -4 somewhere here. So this is the pattern of the normal distribution. Okay. Now we'll go to uniform distribution. Basically uniform distribution is the number is scattered all along the range. Let's generate one uniform distribution of 10 numbers. Here basically the minimum is 0, maximum is 1. So between 0 to 1, 10 numbers have been generated. You can also give, like in the normal distribution, you can give the mean and standard deviation. Here we can give the minimum and maximum as we want. So I am giving a minimum of 10 and maximum of 20. So in that case, I get numbers, 10 numbers generated between 10 to 20. Now here also we'll produce 100,000 numbers and save it in D. Now let's look at histogram of D. Here we are finding almost in all ranges the numbers are, the frequencies are same. It means the whole 100,000 have been distributed along this region. Since we said the minimum is 10 and maximum is 100, between 10 to 100, at every range the numbers have become almost equal. That is, the probability of occurring of say a digit 14 and the probability of occurrence of a digit 97 are same. There is no difference. So the probability will be almost same. Whereas in the normal distribution, the probability of a number, so say in this case 45, so a probability of number occurring close to 45 will be very high, whereas a number which is farther, probability will be less. We have understood uniform distribution and normal distribution. And let's see the plot of uniform distribution for 100,000 numbers. The numbers should be basically scattered all over the graph. Unlike in normal distribution where you got a band, here you can see if the numbers are all spread over the entire range. So you can zoom and see all these black dots are all the 100,000 numbers. The white dots are those where they know that particular number is not there. So basically we are seeing the numbers are spread between 0 to 100 almost everywhere. Now we will see how to generate integers using uniform distribution. When you use uniform distribution, you get decimals here. When you give the range between minimum and maximum, it produces that many numbers with decimals. You don't want the decimals, you can convert them using floor or ceiling. So let's create a vector 1. Then let's see what is vector 1. In this case, I wanted to produce 100 numbers, minimum is 0, maximum is 100. So I got the 100 numbers here, 97th number is here, 98, 99, 100. Okay, now when I ask for floor, it discards the decimals. So I got the integers uniformly distributed. If I got ceiling of vector 1, if I ask for it, then what I get is the next number. So 18.4 will become 19. And similarly 52 will become 53, 16 will become 17, 5 will become 6. Let's see this. So I am getting 19, this 18 point something has become 19, then 52 point something has become 53, 16 will become 17, 5 will become 5.0 will become 6. So this is how you can generate uniformly distributed integers. Now we are going to another function which is a very important function, sample. Here what we are doing is 1 to 100, in this range we want to produce 4 numbers and we say replace is false. That means if a number has been picked up from 1 to 100, the same number should not come next time. So that's all. The number can come from anywhere, as random as possible. So 70, 46, 90 and 40. So if I ask one more time, this time I am getting 16, 72, 84, 85. So there, each time you will get a different result. Now I am asking a sequence 5 to minus 5 with the steps of minus 0.3, which we have already done once. So we are getting this sequence. Now this sequence I am giving into the sample and I am saying 5. That means from this sequence I want 5 numbers. So from this sequence I got 5 numbers. Let's see whether these numbers exist here. Yes, minus 2.2 is here, 2.3 is here, minus 0.1 is here, 2.6 is here. So from this set of numbers only you are able to produce. So in sample you can give a vector, a sequence or a data and then ask how many numbers to be picked up, and you can also say whether replace is true or false. Now in this case I am saying sample.int, that means I want integers to be picked up, maximum is 1000 and 5 numbers. I am getting 5 integers up to a maximum of 1000. I can repeat the command, I may get another set of 5 numbers. Now we will produce one data frame using the concepts which you have learnt. This data frame, data.frame is the data frame function. First column is number 1, second column is 21 to 30, third column is a sample of letters 1 colon 3 and 10 and replace is true. Basically it generates 10 numbers from the letters 1 to 3, that is capital A, B, C. From this only 10 letters will be produced and replace is true naturally, because only 3 letters are available, but we have to produce 10 letters out of it. Naturally replace should be true. So third column will consist of letters, second column will be having 21 to 30, first column we have given only 1. We know all columns should have equal length, but we have given only 1. Therefore what happens? Naturally R will try to recycle. Let's see what is df. We have seen first column is all ones, that means there is a recycling done here. The second column it is having 21 to 30, third column it is having 3 different letters. We will wind up this session now. In this video we have covered various methods of generating numbers through functions in R and how to make use of them to form data frames. In our next video, we will cover another important topic, how to import our data from Excel or text files available in CSV or TSV formats. Till then, bye from me. Thanks for watching.